If you are tired of cooking chicken night after night, I've got a trick for you. Basically, we're going to bake it once and then we're going to turn it into 3 easy budget friendly meals. So stick around and let's take a look. Now, because it is finally September, we are going to start using our oven again. But I wanted to mention that one of the great things about baking chicken off is that not only can you use it for dinner that night and for dinner the next couple nights, but you can also freeze already cooked chicken. Now, a lot of people go ahead and freeze, raw chicken, but then they have to defrost it and then cook it later. I'm talking about going ahead and baking off your chicken, waiting until it's cold, slicing it or dicing it, putting it in like a Ziploc baggie or whatever your preferred freezer friendly option is. And then you can put it in the freezer. Once it's time to use it, all you have to do is pull those items out and you can go ahead and add them directly to a hot pan, like if you're doing a one skillet meal, or you can defrost it in the microwave. Mine does 50% power for about 2 to 3 minutes, and boom, my chicken is back to life. Perfect to put on top of like salads or whatever you need chicken right then by itself. So let's get into this week's menu. As you can see, we are going to do a total of 13 items, and those items are going to total $29.60. There are a few items that you might already have at home, so definitely check those first. Now, I will say that the only item on here that you're going to buy multiples of are the tomatoes. You're going to need 3 of them. Now, as far as some things go here, like the cheddar cheese, you can use any style of cheddar cheese that you like. It doesn't have to be mild. It could be sharp. It could be a blend, whatever you like. We're just going to need a total of 1 pound of cheese. This is one of the big bags. The other thing is with rice, you can easily swap that out if you prefer to have brown rice. And then for pasta, the shape really doesn't matter all that much. So I would use what you already have at home rather than buying a new box. Now, I do have 2 links down below. One goes to my Walmart grocery list. You can check all these items and see what the prices are at your local store. The second link goes to my website where you can print just a simple 1-page PDF, has all the recipes and all of the grocery list all on 1 page. And this is going to be number 17. So you should have a nice stack of menus by now. If you don't, you can always go to the website and catch up. Now, our base menu this week is super, super simple because really we're going to let our oven do all of the work. Now, we're going to take one of those big family size pack of chicken breasts. They typically run about 5 pounds. So that means you may get one that's 4.5 pounds or all the way up to 5.5 pounds. Now, some of these chicken breasts are ginormous. They're huge. Others kind of medium, others kind of small. So what I like to do is when I get the really big chicken breasts, I like to slice them in half long ways. Now, you could also go ahead and cut them in half again, so that way you have like nice little 4-ounce chunks. That's totally up to you. But what I like to do is I take a very large baking sheet. I'm going to cover it with foil or parchment just to make sure it's easy cleanup. I'm going to lay all my chicken out and then I'm going to pat it dry. And then we're just going to drizzle it with a little bit of oil. And if you're trying to avoid oil, you can skip that step. I personally like it. And then we're going to sprinkle our seasonings evenly over both sides. Now, because we are going to transform this chicken into 3 completely separate meals, I would advise you to go mild. And what I mean by that is I would do basics like salt, pepper, garlic powder, maybe some onion powder. I would just figure out what your base seasonings are and season your chicken that way. You don't want to put, taco seasoning or something that's very strong that can't be used for multiple things. Now, once you lay these into your oven, they're going to take about 25 to 30 minutes, but it is going to depend on the thickness of your chicken. So I would use your thermometer and make sure your chicken reaches 165 degrees. Once it's hit that temperature, you can pull it from the oven and then let it rest. Now, the way that I have this is we're actually doing this as like a base recipe where you might be doing this like on a Sunday afternoon. Now, I would say to let it rest a good 15 to 20 minutes before you start slicing, dicing, shredding it, however you're going to use it. Just because if you cut it too soon, all the juiciness of that chicken is going to go away and you're going to end up with very dry chicken. So now at this point, once you have sliced or diced or however you want to cut your chicken, You could go ahead and split it up into multiple bags, go put it in your fridge, and then you have those for later on. Or I like to get another clean baking sheet, put some parchment down, lay out all my chicken, put it in the freezer, let it freeze for about an hour or two just to where it's starting to get hard. And then you take all of those bits and put them into like a Ziploc bag and then leave them in your freezer, and then they're ready to go. But either way, definitely a good option. Our first meal in this mini meal plan is going to be a super quick chicken enchilada rice skillet. Now, we're going to use about 3 cups of chicken. We're going to use about 3 cups of rice. You can use white, brown, whatever. Now, here's where it's pretty much a dump and go, because basically we're just going to add some enchilada sauce, some black beans, some corn. We're going to mix everything all together until it's nice and heated. And then we just sprinkle cheese on top, put the lid on, let it melt, and we're done. Now, I will say that my husband loves to eat this with flour tortillas to make kind of like, little on the go tacos. I prefer to do it with some tortilla chips. That's actually how I usually eat this leftover for lunch. But you could also top this with some some sour cream. You could top it with some sliced avocado, some lettuce, tomato. You can really make this more. But honestly, with the rice and the beans and the chicken, it's very filling and it's a great little bowl, all in one type thing. For our second meal, we are going to go to a completely different direction. Think more Italian style. We're going to do a chicken pesto pasta. And this is so simple. And you can also add more things to this if you like, but it's completely fine being simple. And basically, we're going to cook some pasta. Any shape will work, even if you have like just spaghetti noodles, totally will work. Now, the kicker here is that when you are cooking your pasta and it's fully cooked and tender and you're about to strain it, I need you to save at least half a cup of that pasta water. That pasta water is a little bit different than just regular water because it has all the starch in it, and it totally helps create the sauce here. So I usually take my measuring cup, dip it in, put it to the side, and then strain my pasta. Now, then I usually use the same big pot. I go ahead and add my chicken to my tomatoes, my spinach, my pesto, and the hot pasta. Mix it all together, and then this is where that pasta comes in, and it kind of loosens the sauce or thins the sauce. Now, here's the thing. If you're not a big fan of basil pesto, there are lots of different options. I like the one that's the ricotta and pesto mixed together. You can also buy, it's a creamy pesto. I think it's made by Prego. The third option is you can skip the basil pesto and just use an Alfredo. So depending on how your family likes their pasta, those are some great options for this meal. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy right now over Cracker Barrel, and all this talk in the news has just made me really nonstop thinking about Cracker Barrel hash brown casserole. Now, one of my favorite things is this hash brown casserole, but it's just a side dish. It's a very filling side dish, but it's super yummy. So then I had the idea, why don't we add chicken to the hash brown casserole? And then now we've got more of a main dish instead of a side dish. And you know what? It turned out amazing. Like almost even better than just plain hash brown casserole, because sometimes that gets just where the texture is kind of gooey. And so to have that chicken in there, it just makes the texture a little bit different. Now, here's where we have some options. We have some fresh spinach from the other night, so the obvious choice would be a spinach side salad. And that's why we need 3 tomatoes, because you're going to use 2 for that pasta dish. So you could use 1 for the side salads. And then, if you have any Parmesan cheese or mozzarella or even the cheddar cheese, any of those will work. Make a quick little side salad with whatever dressing you have. Now, another option here, if you're not a huge fan of spinach, you could easily add in some broccoli cuts, like the frozen kind, or any kind of vegetable you like. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm pretty sure that mixed vegetables and even green beans would be great in this dish. And actually, frozen peas would work well as well. So lots of options here. Now, I do want to show you this where I'm using the Hungry Jack dehydrated hash browns. These are about half the cost, and they make 7 servings. Yes, this little box, you're going to fill it with hot water and let it sit for like 10, 12 minutes. It's going to rehydrate all these potatoes. and then you just drain off the water and poof, they look exactly the same as the frozen hash browns when you thaw them. Now, if you wanted to use frozen hash browns, you could totally do it. Bags are typically like 26 to 32 ounces, but you do want to make sure to thaw them first, because when I've tried making this casserole with frozen hash browns, it doesn't seem to cook all the way through, but you'll have to play that one by ear. Now, there are some hash browns you can buy at the store. I want to say they're made by Simply Potatoes, where they're not frozen and they're not dehydrated. They're just like in the refrigerated section. You don't have to do anything. You can just toss those right in. So lots of options here. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this week's mini menu with our progressive chicken breast, basically where you cook once and then you use that meat for 3 separate meals. Now, like I said, you could do all of these meals in 1 week and just keep your chicken in the refrigerator, or you could actually spread this out over multiple weeks and basically have ready to go meals that you just have to assemble. Super, super quick and easy. So either which way you want to do it is fine. Just make sure that you go to the website and you print out the one page. It looks like this. It's all in black and white. It has the list as well as all the recipes that you'll need. So I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you later. Bye.